Good evening, all Inderes TV listeners and viewers. On this video, we will discuss Perisius Technologies, which was an asset purchase from Tecnotree. There was a lot of discussion amongst the private investors in Finland regarding the deal, since there was some missing and controversial information about the company, what it actually does, where does it operate, what was the purchase price of this asset purchase, and some controversial comments about from the former employees as well. So welcome for the video interview, CEO Padma Ravichandran and CFO Indiresh Vivekananda.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ronnie. Good evening to listeners and to you, Ronnie.
So before going to the Perisius Technologies, which we will discuss broadly, could you just first discuss how does Tecnotree evaluate its acquisitions targets in general?
Thank you, Ronnie. I'll try to answer the questions. This was a sudden interview, so some of my answers may be spontaneous, and you can ask questions to elaborate if you like. So Tecnotree's investment strategy has had to be moderated and steered away from large acquisitions, mainly because we had a reduced capital investment in our last round of CCDs. We didn't close our CCDs even from the beginning. To date, we have a much smaller amount of capital investment capability at this point in time. So our strategy is more towards strategic and smaller and more timely acquisitions as we require. And that's the strategy we are moving towards and tending towards right now. The company is generally focused now on acquiring smaller assets, which directly improve our capex to revenue ratio for Tecnotree. And capex to revenue is a very key internal metric to ensure we have growth and we have positive free cash flow. We have stayed ahead of all the requirements of our customers in the market. If you look at our acquisition of Cognitive Scale or the investments we made in Moments, all clearly reflected growth for us. We predicted the AI ML requirements for telecom industry far before telecom industry itself started requiring it by this acquisition. And it has paid good dividends to us in terms of integrating the Sensor Fabric in our digital stack. And today we are one among the world leaders in terms of telecom capability for AI ML use cases and integration. I also spoke about Cognitive Scale's Sensor Certify, which is a product that came with that stack that helps us position ourselves for trust, governance, transparency, and explainability in the European market today. We are unique. No one else has that capability. And that came with that small acquisition. If you look at the investments in Moments, today, every operator that has invested heavily on digital transformation says what's next, because the revenues are declining, as you can see from the various reports in the traditional CSP services and products. And they have to look beyond that to a bigger, richer marketplace with many offerings of their own beyond telco services, such as cloud capabilities, office in a box kind of capabilities, API monetization capabilities, and then to adjacent industries like e-health capabilities with partner products, etc. And the Moments marketplace and campaign management capability integrated with AI provides that kind of revenue monetization capability for the industry. And it is actually a front runner, a North Star to our digital stack today. So this is sort of the strategy that we have adopted, and it resonates well if you look at the Gartner reports for Magic Quadrant, where they have recognized us for AI ML as among the leaders in the industry for telecoms. And if you look at the Gartner reports for Hype Cycles, they have recognized Tecnotree Moments Marketplace. So as a company over the last 6 years that I have been CEO, we have evolved from build to suit products to out of the box products that are ready to use. So this has been the overall underlying strategy of the company, and all our asset acquisitions will resonate with that strategy.
All right, so let's move more precisely to Perisius now. So what technological component did Tecnotree buy from Perisius. What elements does it bring to Tecnotree, to be precise?
So if when I looked at Perisius, just I think during COVID, or I'm not even sure, or just when COVID was about to start is when I started engaging with the founders. Small product company, had a fabulous IPR for building very fast, highly flexible products rapidly for the fintech industry. And as you know, the fintech industry is very similar to telecom industry in terms of KYC, GDPR compliance, etc. And they were also building products for other industries. They had this tool and this capability, particularly related to UI, UX design and creating a very rich, quick customer experience. So the products the assets that we purchased are digital lead and prospect management, case and knowledge management, contract management, workforce management, and stock and inventory management and voucher management capabilities from them. These are small products, but they tightly couple and are highly optimized on our digital stack. They helped us go faster in terms of completing our CapEx spend and having a product that our digital transformation stack ready, our platform ready to use for our customers. And that gave us a strategic advantage in terms of having out-of-the-box capability very quickly when we were competing in RFPs. So these were the products that we looked at from Perisius and we have now acquired. But it's also the rapid product development IPR capability that is also very important.
In our Q2 interview earlier, you mentioned that the acquisition would boost revenues already this year. From which elements does this come from? And could you talk about the synergies more in general? What kind of synergies are you expecting?
So the synergies we have experimented, this is a relationship. We first looked at the capability they had for rapid product development, the likeliness of their CRM and configure, price, and quote capabilities that they had, which resonated very well with our CRM stack and complemented many of the features that we were having to release to our customers. And right from 2022 onwards, we have been integrating many of these components that I talked about, the lead and prospect, the contract management, the configure, price, and quote capability on the product catalog, the workforce management capability. We've been using some of these things, and they have been providing more like 1 to 2 million from a resale perspective on our product stack. So right from 2022, some of these capabilities have enhanced our revenue sales and has brought in individual revenues to our stack. But if you look at the order backlog that we are carrying today, clearly these products will contribute continuously to additional revenue. Just in 2024 and 25, I see another $2 to $4 million of revenue that these products can enhance in being, by being available on our digital stack.
If looking at the Perisius business model in general, on top of the IP that you bought, could you describe the business model, since there was some confusion on what the company actually does?
Perisius is a very small product company. You can say, just like the way Technomen started 46 years ago. It was a startup culture that resonated with our requirements to complete our digital stack. They had some of these nuggets that I talked about, the IPR on the rapid development and the design builder capability that they had for very quick go-to-market for some of our CRM product deployments. So in terms of how we worked, their products enhanced the speed of our delivery. They had a very agile, very similar process methodologies in terms of engineering capability. There was a lot of synergy in their technical and engineering capabilities as well. They were using the same languages, the similar kinds of databases. So working with them was easy. So 3 years ago, when we wanted to enhance our R&D features quickly and get to market with a full-fledged digital transformation capability for the CSPs, we were not capable of attracting big software vendors. We were also not capable of hiring at scale a lot of people. So we were extremely price conscious, and the synergy with a small complementary product companies such as Perseus seemed timely and important for us. Perseus also had other products that they were building for other companies, but they were not compatible to our stack. So we only looked at the ones that we needed, and we picked those and integrated them to our stack for faster delivery.
Okay. Could you go through the history of Perseus Technologies? There seemed to be some confusion. When was the company actually put up? The internet site showed that it was grounded in 2021, but some employees seem to have longer working histories, according to LinkedIn. Some foreign members saw there was some connection to a company named Technovos. So what is the relationship between Technovos and Perseus?
There were some founders that I met. Vinod Kumar Talluri, Vikas Prabhu, and Vishal Raj were the founders of Perseus Technologies in 2021. If you take Vikas Prabhu, the guy who I worked with very closely in this transaction and in the product development strategy, he is a graduate from Tampere University in information technology, particularly specializing in user experience capabilities. So he came back to India and started to train teams and with the design principles, which were very similar to the R&D principles that we were following in Tecnotree. So the synergy and the resonance, software is about people and process, and the cultures were very synergetic between us. He and Vinod started various other companies in the past, probably as well, because they had a very startup type of mentality and culture.
So could you still comment about the Technovos relationship? Do you know anything about that?
It's like, if you take Tecnotree today, before Tecnotree, there was a Livetree. Before Livetree, there was something called Quill Technologies and many other small companies. So I'm assuming there were companies that they integrated to form their companies. I'm not fully familiar with anything more beyond Vinod and Vikas and Perseus.
Okay. Then regarding the purchase price of the acquisition, what was the purchase price in total? In 2023, you made a prepayment of 2 million. Now, during H1, we haven't seen anything in cash flow statement. So what have you paid for the acquisition?
So we were using different parts of their products. Like I said, DLPM, which is the lead and prospect management. We were using the configure, price, and quote module. We were using their contract management module, their workflow and inventory and asset management modules, etc. When we took possession of their IPR, we set up an alignment as an asset purchase agreement. We then selectively integrated the minimum number of employees required to manage these products into Tecnotree, not all of Perseus. And we agreed to a purchase price of 3 million, out of which we paid 2 million in advance in Q4 of 2023. And the acquisition was completed in Q2 of 2024. However, the balance money of 1 million, which in the 3 million, has not yet been payable to them because it's based on order intake target that has to be achieved in 2024. And as on date, this amount is not yet due. So that is why the amount has not yet been paid to them.
All right. Something that the investors and analysts as myself have wondered, why didn't you give a stock exchange or press release regarding the concluding of the purchase?
In our opinion, the amount invested was not significant for a stock exchange release. So we didn't do it. It was just 2 million that we paid them, and we included that in our financial reports, our annual reports and statements. It was a small purchase. It was not even as big as the Cognitive Scale purchase.
Okay, so it was just a decision not to disclose.
Yeah.
Yeah. Could you tell us who is the seller of the company asset?
So it is Vinod Kumar Talluri, Vikas Prabhu, Vishal Raj are the founders of Perseus, as far as I know.
Okay, and is the seller from Inner Circle? Does it have anything to do with Tecnotree or?
We have been working with these people for almost 3 years now, 22, 23, 24.
Okay. Then about the team, how big team was there at Perseus, and how big team is there transferred to Tecnotree at the moment?
So Perseus had more than 150 members in the team, primarily they were formed. Perseus as a company was a COVID company. A lot of tech companies that get formed in COVID time have a work from home culture. And they did not have a big office or asset purchase or buildings, but they invested a lot in hiring very good people, very smart people. Vikas himself, as I told you, is a Tampere University graduate and has got excellent design capabilities. So we selectively only integrated the resources we needed for each product as we acquired them.
All right. There seem to be some reviews by former employees that were very critical and accusing the company of being a scam and, for example, not paying employees money they owed. So how do you respond to these accusations?
So the company did have some financial challenges, and it seemed for us at Tecnotree during that time very, very opportune to acquire the IPR that was relevant to our digital stack, thereby protecting the Tecnotree customers and our revenues. So that's what we did. When a company works 100% remotely, you must have heard this in other technology companies, talent acquisition, talent retention are all very challenging because you're doing everything on interviews on the internet, etc. And it may reflect some of the negative feedback that they have received. I'm not sure.
Okay. What about the integration of the IP asset? How has that developed so far?
So we took some time to do the due diligence on the software itself that we brought in. But in terms of integration, we had already integrated many pieces of their products into our digital stack. So integration did not take time, but we needed to ensure that all the IP was delivered to us and the code was reviewed. And, we have ensured that we got everything that we needed to get from them. But there was no real integration effort required because we were using their products on our stack already. So.
Okay. So maybe we could end the interview with a open word. So what would you say to the Finnish private investor community that are seeing some hassle regarding your corporate governance and investor relations communication regarding the convertible bonds, board members, stock sale, and lack of cash flow, etc. So what would you say to the Finnish private investor?
Okay, thank you for that opportunity, Ronnie. There's never a dull moment in Tecnotree. I've been here 14 years, and every day has been quite an interesting day with a lot of challenges, equally with a lot of opportunities. One thing I would like the share owners to remember is that Tecnotree is a global company and truly global. And I have worked all my careers only in global companies that have headquartered in different places, like in Europe or in the US or etc. And I have to say that Tecnotree, being a global company, is a Finnish global company. It's as Finnish as it needs to be, and it's as global as it needs to be. So I am personally heavily invested in this company. And this year, 2024, for telecommunication industry has been quite a challenging year, poised with many, many different kinds of challenges. But for Tecnotree, these challenges have resulted in opportunity. As I said in my investor address, we have been very resilient. We have measured the market. We have taken certain OPEX reductions ahead of the curve and ensured that these unique challenges that came by turned into opportunities for us to be able to expand into mature markets and also to displace some of our competitors in these markets. My focus as a CEO is to see these challenges as growth opportunities and help the company steer away from the challenges as quickly and as agilely as possible. And that's what I've been focused on. We now have a fully integrated digital stack with AI, ML, marketplace, and other capabilities which are beyond many of our competitors. For example, one of the two products that I talked about, the lead and prospect management product and the configure, price, and quote product on the product catalog are products that we are using in the market today to displace Oracle and Salesforce. And we have many, many cases where our existing customers and newer prospects have looked at our product stack. These came from Perseus and have said that our lead and prospect And our configure, quote, configure, and price capabilities, it's called CPQ, configure, price, and quote capabilities on our product catalog are superior to that of what Oracle and Salesforce provides today. So I believe that with our digital stack, with 1,300 or more features on it, which are standards compliant as far as TM Forum goes, and which is recognized by many of the analyst literature that is coming around, we are ready to help CSPs transform. Finally, I just want to say that my passion and vision for Tecnotree is to be an industry leader in the telecommunication industry in terms of digital transformation and revenue monetization capability beyond telco for our customers, and to steadily create an accretive value for my share owners. Thank you.
So for the worried Finnish investors, you would say that there is nothing to be worried about.
Yes, absolutely.
All right. Thank you, Padma, for joining the interview with a short notice, and hope this answers some questions for the investors. And if not, then we will discuss the matter later on.
Absolutely. I'm always available. Thank you very much. Thank you, Ron.
Thank you.